severe weather alert.
You're watching Sky News Weather. Here's the latest with ex-tropical cyclone Debbie as she moves south and brings torrential rain still to central Queensland, but we now have severe weather warnings for southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales with an expected deluge along with damaging winds for Thursday and Friday. On the satellite image, you can see the cyclone has moved inland. It has lost its structure, though, as it passed over the Great Dividing Range overnight. It weakened quite rapidly, a little bit faster than your climatological average for the weakening of a cyclone. But it is still a deep tropical low, and we certainly still have heavy rain, in fact torrential rain along parts of the central Queensland coast right through this morning. There's severe thunderstorms warnings which were issued for flash flooding around Mackay, and still a severe weather warning for flash flooding. Now yesterday, it hit the coast as a Category 4 system, pretty close to a Cat 5 actually. Maximum gusts around 260, maybe 265 kilometres per hour when it hit Airlie Beach yesterday at around midday. Proserpine and Bowen have widespread damage along with the Whitsunday Islands, even as far south as Mackay. We've had large trees coming down. So we have quite a bit of damage just from the wind alone. Large trees coming down, some farmers reporting that they've lost every shed on their property. The roofs of some homes have been torn off. There was dangerous airborne debris. We've got damage to boats and marinas, and that's just from the wind. We've also got widespread flooding developing. Some of it is major. And of course we had a storm surge yesterday, although the storm surge was not as high as it could have been. Perhaps with the cyclone slowing down, it didn't quite coincide with high tide upon landfall. Let's have a look at the radar. When it hit the coast, we had that clean eye. You can see it moving inland just near Proserpine yesterday and then weakening through the inland. Now, the centre of the system has gone well inland to the northwest of Moranbah, and that town has had over 100 millimetres in 24 hours. But all through the morning, we had a slow-moving band of thunderstorms sitting directly over that central part of the coast. Torrential rain between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. One of the rain gauges just west of Mackay had 91 millimetres of rain just in 1 hour. That's an incredible amount of rain, causing severe flash flooding. And just to the west of Mackay, about 20 or 30 kilometres, some of the rain gauges have seen 1,000 millimetres in 48 hours. So an incredible amount of rain and very dangerous flash flooding. I would not be travelling at all in that area through the next few hours as this heavy rain continues because it's such a slow-moving system. We're not really expecting the rain to ease off, perhaps until tomorrow morning. We're seeing good rain further south through the central highlands, and this morning we started to see some heavy rain even along the Sunshine Coast, so very good falls right through Queensland. Here are some of the 24-hour totals up to 9 o'clock this morning. Gladstone had 107, even Bundaberg had 50, so heavy rain extends a long way south of the centre. Different story on the northern side where it's been dry around Townsville and Cairns. St Lawrence had over 140, Proserpine nearly 200, and Bowen had its heaviest rain in 26 years with over 250 millimetres of rain. But as I mentioned, it's west of Mackay through the Pioneer River catchment where we've had the heaviest rain, and we do have major flooding. We've seen major flood warnings also for the Connors and the Isaac rivers. We've had moderate flood warnings for the Proserpine and the lower Burdekin. The Don River peaked with major flooding overnight through Bowen. That river has now dropped back to minor. A little bit hard to predict the exact peak for the Pioneer because that heavy rain is still falling, so who knows exactly how high. But over the past 24 hours, many parts of the Pioneer River have even risen 10 metres, so a huge increase there in the river level. These were the maximum gusts that we saw on Tuesday when Debbie made landfall, 263 at Hamilton Island, and destructive gusts, Bowen and Proserpine. Anything above 125 is strong enough for destruction, so well above that. We were still seeing gale force winds this morning, though. We've had 48 hours of gales for the central coast. Hamilton Island, Mackay, 98 kilometres per hour. Just before sunrise, Hay Point near Mackay even had a gust of 120 kilometres per hour. And Moranbah overnight had a gust of 100 kilometres per hour. So we still have a warning for damaging winds between Bowen, and that warning now extends right down to the New South Wales border, although for today the strongest winds are in the central part of the state. There's the tropical low sitting inland northwest of Moranbah. The mean winds are 55 kilometres per hour, just below the cyclone threshold of 60, but we're still seeing gale force winds on the eastern flank of the system as indicated by those yellow arrows. So damaging winds continuing and the slow movement leading to further heavy rain. Bit of a left-hand turn today actually with this system. It's being drawn south by a cold front over southern Australia. Torrential rain. We could easily see another few hundred millimetres just in the next 24 hours for central Queensland. Now the system will accelerate towards the southeast on Thursday, and that is why a severe weather warning has been issued for southeast Queensland, west to Roma even, for heavy rain, flash flooding and damaging winds for Thursday and Friday. For Brisbane, the worst of the weather late Thursday, early Friday. Some of our modelling indicates perhaps even gusts to 120 kilometres per hour, though the warning at this stage mentions gusts up to 100 kilometres per hour for that part of southeast Queensland. There is now also a warning for northeast New South Wales, again damaging winds and flash flooding. The flash flooding will be confined to the far northeast corner of the state, but the warning for damaging winds extends all the way down the coast to Sydney, in fact. So we still have at least 48 hours of severe weather ahead for the eastern seaboard, and we'll keep you updated on this weather event right through this week.